Talk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Nights and quiet stars, quiet chords from his guitar, floating on the silence that surrounds us. Quiet thoughts and quiet dreams, quiet walks by quiet streams.
Ooh, yes, this is the Changing Stage radio show, powered by the mighty Intertalk Media, here in lovely San Diego, although it's a little overcast. And that was Miss Kaylene Peoples doing her bossa nova jazz thing, romantic bossa nova. And we are here to talk about that album, her upcoming show, and how to use PR to drive people to your gigs. So I'd like to bring on the Miss lovely Kaylene. Kaylene, how you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Oh,
you know?
I'm doing good. You know, you got this new album out. That's the first time I got a chance to hear it. I guess nobody's heard it fully yet, so we're getting a little exclusive, right?
Yeah, kind of. Well, we did a release, a special release tonight. We did the CD release concert, and we sold some. We had some limited run. That's what you call it, and then we decided to go back and tweak and do some other things. So we haven't done a full like, hello, we're all over the place yet.
Yeah, no.
So there's a handful of people that have this collectible because it's really kind of a collector's because it's a little different now. So
yeah, you've been working on it for about a year, 2 years, right? Is that correct? This new CD?
It's been like a year. Yeah, it's going on 2 years. Yeah.
Because we were talking a bit about that a while back, and it's just an amazing CD. And before we dive into the PR side of things, tell me about who the players are. There's one very special player, a good friend of mine, and somebody you know pretty well on that album. But let's talk about all of them. Who are on this album, especially on that track?
Okay, so well, obviously me on vocals and flute, and then I'll save the best for last. I have Mahesh Balasaria is playing a piano on that, and then we have Brian Cabrera is on drums, and Monette Moreno is doing percussion.
Yeah, San Diego girl.
And then, yeah, and she's amazing. And Rich Mauser is actually playing the solo guitar on this track, and then of course Bunny Burnell. This just reeks of Bunny Burnell, this track.
It does.
He's like doing the opening, the closing, you know. He's doing the Stan Getz.
Yeah, Grammy nominated player who's played with everybody.
Yeah.
He's got a documentary being made by another iconic bass player, Stanley Clarke, and he also happens to be your husband. How does that work?
I know, right? I know. My new husband, we're going on our first year anniversary, July 17th. So I'm kind of excited about that. Yeah. 1 year together as a married couple.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So it's fitting that we do romantic bossa nova together, you know?
Yeah, it is. Now, I got a chance to see a little bit of the show at a previous date, and I'll tell you folks, you don't want to miss it because there's a lot of great surprises, amazing tracks. And if you have a loved one or if you're looking for a loved one, there's definitely going to be love in the air this Friday at the Newport Dunes Back Bay Bistro. I didn't memorize the address, but it's easy to find. Just type in Back Bay Bistro Newport, and it'll pull up on any one of your phone GPSs and all that fun stuff. It's going to be the 28th. There are a few tickets left, right? They've been selling really good, but there's still a chance for folks to make it. So make sure you go out and get yours and get ready to go to this event, because Kaylene has been a dynamo master promoter, and she is a PR whiz, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. Of course, you're kind of a Renaissance lady. You've not just done music as a flutist, flautist. Correct me again. I always get that wrong, right or wrong. I said both,
okay,
so I got one. I got half of it right.
It's okay. Yeah, in fact, and I've said this before, and I might have even said this in the last interview that we did a while ago. Flautist is becoming a term that people are using a lot. Yes. I'm hearing it. However, the genesis of that word, flautist, comes from basically, I think it's from Germany, and that's how you refer to someone who's from Germany.
Got it.
As a flautist, but the overall term is flutist. But I will say this: I have noticed that even DJs, radio personalities, are saying flautist, and so what I'm concerned about, and I'm just going to have to accept, is that people are now using that word to mean a flute player overall, and
not a German
the American term. Yeah, and the American term for flute player, one of them is flutist. So, because I'm so literal, it's it's hard for me to go, wait a minute, but it's okay. I mean, you can call me what you want. Call me a flute player, and don't even use the ist.
Well, I think everyone does it, because if you say flautist, you sound like you're very educated and speaking proper English. So. Yeah,
it just has a hoity-toity vibe to it, doesn't it?
I feel like I should be like one of the Howls saying flautist. From Gilligan's Island. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I called myself a flautist. I used to, and then I got corrected. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm a flute player. And then a friend of mine, journalist friend of mine, and I went to NAMM 2 years ago. I was seeking an endorsement, and she was introducing me to the guy at the music store at NAMM. I forget which brand it was. And she said flautist. And he looked at me and he says, "You're letting her get away with that?"
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
snap.
Oh my gosh, I better start telling people the right word, because it's not cool. Because people who study flute, let me just change that, because I studied flute and I was calling myself that. But people who have been educated on the word, who are flute players, know that it's flutist.
Yeah.
They know. So, but it is becoming popular to call it flautist. I've noticed a lot more people are doing that, and I've just stopped saying anything anymore. I just smile. it's just smile. I know what it is. Who cares? It doesn't matter anyway. Call me a flutician. That's fine.
Well, all I know is you play some mean bossa nova jazz flute, so it's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and that's what people are going to get a chance to experience this Friday over there at that Newport Dunes Back Bay Bistro. So, in this day and age, let's just kind of jump now into the topic that we were looking at. In this day and age, it's so hard to get the message out that you've got a show. People use their Facebook pages, they use their Instagram, sometimes they use YouTube, Twitter. We used to use flyers back in the day, and email. There's so many different ways, and because of that, the average person gets bombarded by so much messaging. It starts to lose its flavor, and it doesn't necessarily go, wow, hey, there's a show coming up, I want to go to this. One of the ways that seems to still work exceptionally well, because it's an engaging method, is PR, and you are an expert in that. You've developed that skill by having your own magazine, Agenda Magazine. You've developed that skill by being an artist, by being an entrepreneur, and this is one that I think any musician who is wanting to drive a live or even recording career, they need to understand what is PR and how to use it for the promotion of a musical career. So with all that long-winded dialogue, tell us, what is PR, and how, let's start diving into how you could use this in the world of promoting a show.
Okay, well, first of all, it wasn't long-winded. I enjoyed every word that you said.
Well, thank you.
So it wasn't long-winded. So yeah, using PR it's a game changer in people's careers, and sometimes it takes hitting your head against a bunch of brick walls in whatever industry you're in before you realize that you're going to have to bite the bullet and do PR. Or get a PR company to manage your PR. Yeah.
Well, let's start. That's a pretty advanced, lead in. Let's start basic. What is PR?
Well, an acronym for it is public relations, and it started way back the late 17th century. Seriously, PR started back then. Even before then, when they were announcing things, it's a way of announcing something. And you had more ears in the olden days. You had less things to divide your attention in the olden days, And now,
like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, I would say maybe more like
I'm just joking.
50, 60 years ago, when there was something going on. It was, first of all, there was only one or two stations on a television station.
Yeah.
That you could, and it was a big deal if you could get on there because everybody was watching it. And so you didn't have a problem promoting something on TV.
Yes.
Because even now, television PR, it doesn't necessarily do what it used to do. Because there's too many stations now. There's too many cable stations. There's people. It's like there's more than one medium to actually put your announcement.
Yeah, exactly.
And public relations really is, it's morphed into more things, but it's really, you have to have something to announce. You have to have something to publicize. If you don't have something to publicize, you aren't at the level for PR. That's really bottom line. If someone's doing a lot of shows, a lot of concerts, and they don't have a PR team and a promotion, like you need two. You need promoter and a publicist. You need two people on your team. If you're like a touring artist or an artist that's working a lot, performing a lot, you really need those two because now the venues have changed. The venues expect the artist to promote. Now the venues don't do the promoting.
Yeah.
So, it's a different game. So yeah, PR basically, when you break it down to its bare minimum, so it's just something. It's announcing something. But you got to get the attention of people to announce it. So it's like blowing a bullhorn in the forest where no one's going to hear you. You got to know where to announce. I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
Hey, Kaylene, sorry we got a little interruption here in the network. Computers fun things. It decided they want to try to do updates, so I'm instructing our team here to change it. So, hey, we're transparent here. This is
live.
This is live, making it happen. So, but you hit the nail on the head. And that is engaging media. That's the key.
Yeah. You got to engage. You have to engage. Otherwise, good luck.
Yeah. And that's a tough one because you have to have something to engage the media about. Live shows are part of that. There's, for the average person, there's access to bloggers. There are now what we call social influencers, and that's all PR because essentially that it's getting the word out through somebody else's voice. And, that's
exactly.
And I think that you've been a master of that. Tell us about some of the things you've been employing. One of them actually is Hugh being on the show with me and being a good friend, and more importantly, a very trusted and very substantial colleague of mine through this industry. We've been able to help one another with promotion of different things, and that's part of it is sharing. So, how have you used your knowledge to promote this current show coming up here on the 28th at the Newport Dunes?
Well, this one was a challenge for me because my audience is not in Orange County, and I usually have no
LA
problem
area.
Promoting
Hollywood,
yeah,
Beverly
it's mostly
Hills.
Hollywood, LA proper, stuff like that. Mostly is where I perform. So. And I've done a couple shows at the Back Bay Bistro, and we've had people come out. And it's, I I had to think outside of the box for this one. And thinking outside of the box, first of all, you want to target the area,
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't expect someone to drive 70 miles to go to a concert.
Yeah.
So you have to pretty much focus your attention in the surrounding area, especially for something like a local event.
Yeah.
So what I mean, giving away all my secrets here, but kind of like one of the things, the first thing I did, now Facebook is a very good tool. And as you know,
yeah, we use it all the time.
The first thing I did was the team, we purchased an ad and to advertise.
Mm-hmm.
And I systematically chose every city to target in the Orange County area. So I didn't just say San Diego and, or Southern California. This is a lot of mistakes a lot of people make when they're doing Facebook ads for targeting a particular region. They have to be very specific if they really want the turnout or the purchasing or whatever it is that they're trying to sell. Otherwise, it's just a blanket spread, and you're hoping that you get 10% of that with the people that you're actually looking for.
Exactly. And to qualify that for people, the reason why you do that, say, versus just posting it and hoping for organic reach, Facebook has made it very clear that organic reach is pretty much a very minimal pipeline, for lack of a better word. They give you access to only a small amount of your contacts. Even if you've got the max at 5,000, you're getting a fraction of those that they're reaching out to organically. And to open up that pipeline, what you want to do is you want to prime it a little bit with some boosting cash. That's really what it comes down to. And unfortunately, that is the nature of the game in that particular arena. And you can also target people that are influencers on Facebook and just ask them, hey, can you spread the word? And also be reciprocal about it when they have things that you want to promote, like what we were talking about, you and I would do. I'll help you promote an event or a launch of music, or help one of your clients, and you will do the same for us. And that has pretty much become a very standard practice here in the music industry. That if you want someone to help you, you got to help them as well, because we're all trying to make it in this crazy world we call music biz. So
yeah, and let's talk about the algorithm about Facebook. You're right. Facebook, one of my administrators, basically it stopped his complete engagement on his page. And he would put out all of the announcements for the PR firm all the time, and we were getting about 100 to 200 likes per announcement.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was a personal page. I think he has only like 1,800 friends or something, so it's not like 5,000 or something. But it was definitely getting read and engaged. And then all of a sudden, it just stopped. It just stopped. Like not maybe one like. And it was like, what's going on? What's going on? He even
about a year ago or so. Was that when it?
Yeah, it was a year ago, October.
Yeah. And that was when they changed their. They really changed their way of looking at things. They looked at any type of post that resembled a business type of dialogue. Then they made sure that it got very little to no traction organically, whereas before, for example, if you put out something that says, hey, I'm here at Taco Bell, they'll let that go out to everybody. But if you say,
I'm picking my nose while I'm getting my toenails done, everybody wants to see that.
But if you say, hey, I'm picking my nose while I'm getting my toenails done, but I'm also here performing, they will squelch that. And that's just the nature. I get it. I get what they're doing.
Or put a puppy dog or a baby in the shot, and then now you've got thousands of people looking at your post.
So there's different things that are used, but I think from the most part, I think the the specialty I think that you were diving into before too is that, you know, learn who your local news folks are. They could be your really good friends. Don't do it. Don't do it as, you know, to take advantage, or I don't know what you'd say in relationship. You know, become friends with those folks. I noticed that, you know, we have our local ones here in San Diego, and they're very eager to help out new artists. They can't help every artist that comes out, but you know, quite often I see posts from our folks here asking for, hey, is there any news that you want us to report in the San Diego Reader or the Troubadour or any of the, you know, not quite so much in the Union Tribune, because that's more of a you know, they try to focus on national stuff, but in general, there's a lot of people, and then there's bloggers and there's other folks. There's social, you know, there's influencers. So, you know, get to know those folks is one of the suggestions I give, that, you know, if you can, you know, if you've got something that maybe you know, do a certain thing when you're not performing or are doing music that might have some value, maybe trade some time to get some promotion. You know, that's it. You know, it's become that type of world, and I know that you have some things that you do to kind of engage these people. You've throughout the time you've built up your own list, and then you also are able to use other media lists that are available online. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, if you're doing anything that requires an audience that has to buy a ticket somewhere, you need to have a fan list, a list of people that you just shoot things out to automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's critical. You got to have that. If you don't, you're kind of like, and then after a while, okay, what was the other thing? So there's that.
So you've
and
got
then,
your
of course, there's your local.
Yeah, you've got your fan list. Then you've got your local media people who just they you know, when they make announcements, people want to, you know, they're kind of the who's who of what's going on in their area. So those are the people you want to get in touch with. Yeah,
that's critical. I mean, you're right, Florentino. It's about building relationships and doing for others and letting them do for you type thing. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. But I think there's a bigger picture, ultimately, too. Back on the Facebook plot, if I can get back there.
Sure. Sorry, didn't mean to derail it a little bit, but yeah, go ahead, please get back to that.
No. I was just going to say there's a way to beat the algorithm, and that is to either start a group, which is focused on whatever it is you're doing, and engage your own private audience and build it.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to have stuff be seen by everyone, because the group, I mean, they're going to see it. They're in their group. Join groups that will allow you to post, like-minded groups that will allow you to post. You can, you know, if it's okay with the moderators, you can post a lot of your events in those types of groups to get a few more eyeballs on your stuff. And the last thing...
Can we go back to that one thing about the moderators? I just wanted to throw something out there. Engage the moderators, talk to them, and then talk to the people in the group. Because if you're just going to post in a group, because that is definitely a form, that's really one of the most powerful forms of PR that doesn't cost you anything. Well, PR doesn't necessarily cost you to interact with PR, but if you hire a professional, obviously it's going to cost you. But in this particular case, these moderators, they, you know, quite often, if it's related topic, engage them, because if you don't, then they just feel like you're taking advantage of the opportunity, and you're not contributing, and that's really a big part of it. I just wanted to kind of, because I learned the hard way. I'm talking about learning the hard way. I got slammed out of a couple of things before, and that was rough to learn. So continue on. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and on that, let me just say this: as I have a jazz group, it's, you know, Kaylene Peoples concerts and jazz, you know, whatever. And I've had it for a while, and it's real jazz. It's a real jazz group, meaning that, you know, we're talking about Miles Davis and Herbie Hancock and Chick Corea and Ella Fitzgerald.
And Bunny Burnell.
And Bunny Burnell and some very Latin people, but it's all on a jazz tip.
Yeah,
and then there's another form of jazz that is also really cool, but doesn't really necessarily fit into that group.
Yep.
And that is more like the smooth jazz, which is jazz, but it's just not that kind of jazz.
It's a different kind of jazz.
And
yeah.
so I have like really strict rules of posting in that particular group. Like, don't post smooth jazz in here because this is not it. People who are in this group want to hear Miles Davis. They don't want to hear Dave Koz.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so you have to be careful even what you're posting in those groups. You got to be sure that it's like exactly
it fits, yeah.
what the group wants, because ultimately your stuff's going to get deleted. You don't know where it went.
Exactly.
Like if you have a kind moderator like me, I'm a kind one. Sometimes I'll let it go by, but then I'm going, no, I'm sorry. We're here to hear, some Stan Getz. We're not here to hear Kenny G. This is not the group for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got to be careful as well and be sensitive of, you got to do some research.
Yeah,
You can't just say, I got a show coming up. I'm just going to post it everywhere and hopefully people will come to my show. It doesn't work that way. And some people don't want to hear about it anyway. I'll be frank with you. A lot of people get sick and tired of it. They don't want to hear. So you have to, at one point, you have to step outside of your community.
Yeah.
And you have to start learning how to really do like a really big reach. You have to step outside your own community after a while, because your friends will patronize you for a while, but you can't expect it. You can't expect it every show. And
you have to build those fans. Hey, Kaylene, this is a quick half hour. We're down to our minute. Last messaging. What do you want people to know from this point forward? And we'll come back and talk about PR in another time.
Okay, yeah, because that's a big topic.
Yeah. We try to tackle in a half an hour. I know that we want people to go out to the show, because that's going to be a huge, it's going to be a huge fun thing for anybody who goes out there.
Go ahead. What were you going to ask?
I was going to say 30 seconds left.
This is all I'm going to say. You guys, come out. You're going to get the most incredible musicianship you've ever seen live. I'm not kidding. Bunny Burnell is a genius on that instrument. And we have other amazing players. We have Matt Politano, who's an incredible pianist, and Brian Cabrera, who's a great jazz drummer, Joe Calderon, who's an incredible jazz drummer as well.
Beautiful venue.
Yeah, the venue's gorgeous, and the food is just off the charts. Good.
There we are, Kaylene. Well, thank you, my dear, for joining us today, because this is a very special topic, and you guys are going to have a very special time with Romantic Bossa Nova at the Newport Dunes. Stay tuned for the next show. Thank you for joining us.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it, because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?